Hi, I'm Richard Ferguson from Killy Consulting. COVID's clearly had a massive, massive impact on the economy and society, creating huge uncertainty in all sorts of areas. Some organisations and sectors really thriving and others really, really struggling. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel as we follow Boris's route map towards greater freedoms and a new normal that hopefully is sustainable. It feels like it's a really good time now to sit down and have conversations with your teams about how we're going to live and work with COVID moving forward. Whomever I speak to, there's a sort of recurring theme around COVID fatigue, lockdown fatigue. The adrenaline rush of the early stages of the pandemic, is long gone. And I think, there's a real sense of an understandable sense of kind of disconnectedness, demotivation, slightly fractious people, just sort of fed up and wanting to move forward really, and completely understandable. I think the other challenge that I see is that whilst the route map undoubtedly and the freedom that we're moving towards creates huge excitement and huge energy, I'm sure everybody's ready for a pint in the pub, it does also bring a degree of uncertainty and fear, and some of the conversations that I've had, leaders have been talking about teams and colleagues worrying about, whether it's reinstating the commute, it's about, sharing lifts, office space, just coming back into that working environment, sad about losing the freedom and flexibility to work in their pajamas or work in the way that it works for them. And I think, they're real concerns and real fears. And so there is a degree of uncertainty out there. I think the other concern that I'm hearing is worries about the strength and depth of relationships and whether, months and months and months of Zoom have eroded some of those connections and that kind of glue that holds teams together in the way that they work. It doesn't matter how hard you try, over Zoom or Teams to do, replicate, you just cannot, create the same sense of, water cooler conversations, coffee queues, waiting outside the meeting room to go in, just being physically present, being able to grab somebody across the other side of the room or wave or whatever, just, that creates its own energy, its own connectedness that I think probably has certainly been missing, but I think will have an impact. So I know there's some leadership concerns there. So I think, moving forward, there is a lot of focus around, the protocols, the processes, how do we get people back into the office in the right way and the right, order of magnitude. But I think there was also a real opportunity for some proper real leadership conversations about identifying some of the priorities and the focus areas that help you bring, colleagues, teams back into and work in a new normal that really leverages some of the exciting changes and the positives that we've had through the pandemic, but also begins to mitigate some of the risks and fears. And I think it is, that real proper conversation, and I know that having an external facilitator and a kind of process to go through would be potentially really, really helpful, something I'd love to get involved in and have got some skill and experience in helping and supporting. So if you think that's a conversation that you and your team would like to have, then please do drop me a line and get in touch. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of the week. Cheers, bye.